Alright, hello you guys. I'm back with another video today. I'm in my PJs, so I wanted to still make a video though because I last posted I think Sunday. So don't mind my bonnet and my PJs, okay? But I want to talk about the difference between like lust and love with the Lord, of course. And just how like when you're focusing on, like I'll just start with me, for example. When I was in the world, I was, trying to fill the void of just having God in my life and his love and a relationship with him. And so I was consuming a lot of weed. I was drinking some, but I didn't really care for alcohol like that, but I was consuming a lot of weed. I was, I was in fornication, and I was consuming all the media on my phone. Sometimes I would, be a glutton with food, but I was also spend my money on stuff I didn't need, like buy clothes and then not wear them and they just be sitting in my closet or something like that. Shoes too. Just stuff like that. So I was just trying to like fill the void, and it just never happened, of course. So yeah, so I was doing all those things, and I was thinking about how like with Satan's way, he wants you to consume, and he wants you to try to please the flesh, which is our body. This body we're in is not us, it's just housing our spirit and our soul. And he can only pervert what God created, right? Which is why I say nothing new is under the sun, because God created everything already, and Satan can't create anything. All he can do is pervert what God created. So he wants to try to, how can I say? He wants to try to make you try to fill the void, make you think you can heal the pain and, the void inside of you by feeding your flesh. And like I was saying, for me, it'd be weed. Maybe for you, it's like alcoholism and medicine, pills, whatever. And so, yeah, but it will never happen because the flesh can never be satisfied, which is a verse in the Bible. Do I know where it is exactly? No, but I know it's in there. This flesh can never be satisfied. So, yeah, that's why, like for me, as another example, when I was smoking, I would be smoking a lot. Like when I first started, compared to when I finally stopped, I was smoking way much more because, it can never be satisfied. So your tolerance get higher, and higher. And same for people who, are addicted to, nasty movies, as Tony Gaskins would say. They get into all type of weird stuff, and some people get into like the child stuff, and then they end up becoming like serial killer or something like that. And a lot of people be saying like it started from watching nasty movies, and it's like the lust never satisfied, bro. The flesh, fulfilling your flesh is fulfilling lust, and it's never going to be satisfied, which is why people will be like just try to numb the pain, and they get more and more depressed, they get more and more suicidal. And that happened with me. They get more and more have more and more anxiety. They have more and more like stress, worrying about stuff, because it's like it's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna work because it was never meant to work. Like God's way is the opposite of how Satan tried to give you a mirage of like, oh, this will help you, but it's just temporary. Like God always says, like his peace he gives is not the world's peace, and not like the world gives. So, the world gives its temporary pleasures, and like, you buy a house, like you say for like celebrities, they buy a big house and then eventually, they go on to the next thing. They buy a big fancy car and now they're on to the next thing. And, you see celebrities who've taken their life, you see celebrities who are like crazy. And if you know about Hollywood, you already know. So, but it's because they're sold a lie, like literally. On top of the fact, Satan can't tell the truth, so all he do is lie and deceive people. And when you're coming out on the other side of it, it's like, and like when you grow closer to the Lord, it's like, man, it's so crazy to see, because everybody's out here just trying to find love and fill the void inside of them. But they're all going about it the wrong way, because the world's way is, smoke a lot of this and pop pills and, go get drunk, go to the bar, and all type of foolishness, sneaky links and all this stupid stuff. And on top of doing those things, you're also attracting spirits to you, because the more you indulge the flesh, the more you are basically telling the kingdom of Satan that, like, kingdom of darkness, whatever you want to call it, is like, I'm, messing with your stuff. I'm, whatever it is that you're doing. I'm smoking, I'm drinking, I'm fornicating, I'm messing with your stuff, whether you realize it or not. And so Satan's like, oh, she messed with my stuff, he messed with my stuff, so now I have the right to come and, mess up their life. I have the right to come and possess them, because that's what it is. The whole thing about God is telling us stuff to not do so we are safe and have a better life. Because the wages of sin is death. Satan is like a lawyer, and he's like, if you just do his stuff, you touch his stuff, now you've agreed, like, yeah, I want to do your way. You're either doing it God's way or doing it the same way. So it's like, you're like, oh, I want to do it, whether you realize it or not. Like for me, I didn't realize it because I didn't know all this stuff. But as I've grown, I've learned these things, and it's like, he's like, oh, well, she over here messing around playing in my playground. So what comes with that is spirits, and you either have a Holy Spirit or you have evil spirit. And so what comes with, like from my experience, what comes with smoking a lot of weed, you have a lot of intrusive thoughts of, you have suicidal ideations, you have depression, you have, thoughts of like, it's telling you like, oh, just, end your life because nobody cares about you and all this stuff. You have, you just have a bunch of negative foolishness going on. Being addicted to nasty movies. You have, maybe you want to stop, but it's spirit that's comes up on you. And maybe you're like, oh yeah, it's been a week, I've been free. 2 weeks I've been free. A month I've been free. And then here comes 2 weeks later, and now you're having these thoughts. The spirit is tempting you because you're feeding it. Because they can't live here on earth and do what they want to do, because they have to have a body like how we have a body. And so they're like, oh yeah, go watch that, go watch that. And you're satisfying them. They're being satisfied through you. And then the minute that you're done, you just have silence. The voices are gone, temptation voices are gone, and now you're just sitting there with shame, condemnation, and guilt and all this stuff. And you might willingly want to stop, because that's what happened to me before. But it's like, you don't have the power of the Lord to help you to not do these things anymore, because God defeated sin. Jesus defeated sin, and he overcame all these things. So through his power, you can do it as well, with him living in you. So yeah, so you have all these things going on, right? People don't know this stuff, but So yeah, God's way of healing is spiritually, and He will heal you spiritually. You know, you have a relationship with Him, and a connection with your Creator is what you're looking for, whether you realize it or not, because that's what I didn't realize until, recently. But that's what you're looking for, connection with your Creator and, His love. And so you have all this stuff going on, and He wants to heal your spirit, and you'll be living in the spirit instead of trying to satisfy the lust of the flesh, which can never be satisfied. So yeah, just think about these things, because you spend forever trying to satisfy with all type of stuff. I was talking with my dad the other day, and I was talking about how I was talking with God and thinking about how we have like a 360, and we just, this is, here where it's like God and us, and then we just abandon God. And forgive the noise in the background, it's like thunderstorming outside, but we abandon God, and God's, waiting there for us, and then we just go all around trying to satisfy with drugs, alcohol, relationship, money, fame, prestige, car, houses, status, maybe focus on trying to get married, thinking they'll save you, clothes, material things, all this stuff, alcohol. And then you come back and all those things are of the world. And God also, Lord, but God's way is, He has marriage, of course, but He's gonna be at the center of it, and family and all those things, but it has to be in order. So you have all this stuff happening, and so yeah, you go around this whole 360 thinking like, you think like, I don't need God, I'll just do what I want to do and all this stupid stuff. And so you have holes. We all usually have holes in us from voids, and the ultimate void of not having a relationship with God, and traumas, whatever you didn't get growing up. And so try to fill these voids, and I was thinking just like Satan's way is like just water. Try to fill the voids, and it's just water going through the holes, so it just doesn't work. It's one, you're satisfied for a little bit, and it just comes right out. Versus like God is like cement. You come back from the whole 360, and now you're back there, and God's like, all right, you done yet? And you're like, yeah. And so you have all these scars and stuff, and so then God has cement, and His love is the cement. Satan's temporary fixes are the water. And so God pours the cement in you, and it fills up the holes, and now you're whole again. Now you're satisfied. You don't have to sit up here and try to fill it with all these other things or people or whatever. And it's just learning it better. Learning it sooner than later is better, because like I was watching one Pastor Darby sermons, and he just said all you get out here is just a lot of head busting, scars, and nothing. I was watching Philip Anthony Mitchell podcast, Pastor Philip, and he was talking about how, oh man, I just lost my train of thought, but he was talking about wow, I lost my train of thought. But basically, at the end of the day, just know that you need to have a relationship with Him, because it's not about like, oh, God, God's, it's like Satan tried to paint as like, oh, God's trying to keep me away from stuff, and God's controlling and dictator, and God's, it's gonna be boring and all this stuff. And it's like, no. And then on the other side of things, it's like, it's a better life. But at the same time, people don't talk about you have to suffer well, and Jesus was acquainted, I think it said in the Bible, he's acquainted with grief and a man of many sorrows. So if we're striving to be more like him, I just realized that today. I was like, we're gonna have to go through the same type of stuff, like, dealing with, you're gonna have happy times, you're gonna have times where you're going through it. But like, this is a verse, I think, in Psalms. It's like, many are the persecutions of the righteous, but God delivers him out of them all. So it's just scriptures that just like help you, like, just hold on to the faith and be like, man, it's tough right now. Because I just got out of that, and it'd be like, man, it's tough right now, but it's like, God will get you through and you'll be on the other side. And like, I think David was saying, he's like, he was just glad that he suffered. And there's another scripture where God's like, you don't understand what I'm doing right now, but later you will. So yeah, but that's what I wanted to talk about, because that's just what we need to be doing. We need to stop trying to fill a void with vape pens. Stop trying to fill a void with smoking hookah, smoking weed. Stop trying to fill a void going to a club. Stop trying to fill a void with fornicating. Stop trying to fill a void with multiple sneaky links. Stop trying to fill a void with food, with thinking making more money gonna do it. Stop trying to fill a void with more clothes and shoes, a newer car, bigger house. Stop trying to fill a void with a relationship. Stop trying to fill a void with friends. All this stupid stuff. It's not gonna do it. Literally. Oh wait, I think I remember what I was gonna say about Pastor Philip, about being betrayed. Like, he was talking about how when he was in the world and he was giving his he had been in the world, and he was talking about how all he got was just betrayal, because he was like, you try to put your hope in all these things that are fleeting, like in Ecclesiastes, which I love, and Proverbs, because I'll be like so relating to that stuff. Because I'll be like, bro, ain't nothing here for it. When you really like locked in with God, and like you realize, like, so many people died for the faith in the past, and how they just didn't care about, being taken out, because they're like, I know where I'm going to be after you kill my body physically. My spirit, my soul are going to be with my Lord. So I just be like thinking that, I'm like, bro, so real, because nothing here. It's like, I was just thinking, it's like, you got family, you got nature, which is of God, you got family, which is given to you by the Lord. All good things come from him, like it says in the scripture. And you got animals, which is God created. A relationship with the Lord first and foremost while you're living on this earth. And spreading the gospel. Like, other than those 5 things, I was thinking, like, bro, what else is there? Like, I know, you say friends, but like, friends, like, Jesus was like, who's my mother, who's my brother? And those, I think he said, those who serve my Father, do the will of my Father, something like that. But, friends, really, when y'all, I think, going on the same path, I believe, y'all really not even friends, y'all really like family, for real. Because it's like, we brothers and sisters in the Lord, so that's just goes in with family. But yeah, I'm like, bro, I think Solomon wrote Ecclesiastes, unless I'm wrong, but he was like, therefore I hated life. And I was like, bro, because like, it would be like, he'd be like, all this stuff's bleeding and vanity, and how the day of death is better than the day of being born. And I'll just be thinking that, because you got all spiritual warfare and Satan on your back every day, every other day, some days more than others. And it's like, bro, at the end of the day, just want to go be with the Lord, for real. But I think Paul was saying, for your sake, I'm still here to, spread the good news, spread the good news. But back to what I was saying about Pastor Philip. He was just saying, like, people, when he was in the world, and people in the world, what happens is, what happens is you just betrayed by everything you put your trust in. Like, uh, you know, cars, house, money, friends, relationship, all this stuff, you just end up being betrayed by it. It'll last for a little while, but like the wage of sin is death, so it's not gonna last, you know. Versus, you know, being with the Lord, everything. I don't remember the scripture, but I think it says something like everything you put your hand to will prosper. So, if you're righteous, but yeah, so it's so true, you know. It's just when you, I don't know, anybody who is Christian and follows Jesus is like, if you know, talk to them, or if y'all on here, y'all could comment and be like, you know, what you learned from being in the world and how, like, it really was just everything you thought would last was just like betrayal, and it's like fleeting, because without God at the center of stuff, it's just not gonna last. So yeah, but that's what I wanted to say for this video. And also the other point I had wrote down was that with God, well, on Satan's side, he wants to have you just be consuming and consuming and consuming, and how we're made in the image of God, we're his creation. So oh man, I'm losing my train of thought again. But basically, with Satan, you're consuming, trying to fulfill the flesh. So you're consuming, you know, a bunch of alcohol, a bunch of weed, a bunch of food, whatever it is that, you know, you try to satisfy that emptiness with, you know, sex and stuff. But you're just consuming a bunch of stuff. And, you know, with God, it's like you're creating. We're meant to create, because we're his creation. He created everything, and we're made in his image, so we're meant to be creating as well. And so yeah, with God, you're creating a relationship with him. You're creating just a healthy relationship, and you're creating, you know, a spirit within you that is healed holistically, and not just, you're not just walking around spiritually dead anymore. And so I just thought about those differences. God was showing me that as well. I was like, wow, that's so interesting, because, you know, you consume all the time, you feel, you know, like you just feel bad. Like you eat a bunch of food, you feel bad afterwards. You watch a bunch of, you know, nasty movies, you feel like crap afterwards, and ashamed of yourself. You drink a lot, you feel, you know, hungover, you feel like, you know, just like a failure at life, because like, what am I doing? I'm just wasting my life away. But you're addicted, and you're trying to fill a void. So yeah, but like I said in another video, previous video, just lock in with the Lord, you know, try to get to know him, and spend time with him, you know. He'll heal you, and he'll I'm trying, oh, there's thunder outside, but he'll heal you. He'll I'm trying to think of another word to say. He'll heal you. He'll deliver you from whatever you're dealing with, and he'll always deliver you. He'll restore you. He'll just be there for you all the time. And yeah, man, like I said, the other side of it, you know, people think when you get a relationship with God, it's just blessings, and like you're gonna have the best life of ever. It's better life than when you're in the world, that's for sure. But they don't talk about, like, you know, you're gonna be suffering, you're gonna be having spiritual warfare, you're gonna have times you're crying, you're gonna have times where you're just going through it. But you know, it's worth it though. Somebody might be watching this and be like, bro, what? Why would I want to do that? I'm like, hey, it's worth it. If you really think about it, it's like at the end of the day, what are you going to do? Keep trying to fill the void, wasting your life away, not having purpose, and you're going to end up, if you die, you know where you're going. Unless you believe whatever foolishness. But at the end of the day, you either going one way or the other. When God comes back, you're going to be judged. So it's like, you know, suffer for a little while here. So that way, you know, when he does come back, you will be able to live with him forever, bro. Like, can you fathom eternity, like, forever? Up there with so many different brothers and sisters who creative and just, you know, have all different walks of life, meet people from the Bible, being able to be around God, Jesus forever, and the angels, seeing what they look like, nature up there. Well, it's gonna be a new earth, so nature it's probably gonna look way even more beautiful than it does here on earth, considering man done messed up so much. But animals, and like you be able to pet a lion, it's not gonna eat you, and all types of stuff. And like you be able, your God could do anything. So it's like you could fly, go to other planets, I assume, and like maybe just like, oh, I'm invisible, and then God's like, I can still see you, and that's like, yeah, you're right. Then you come back and you're like physically there, like all types of stuff, forever, bro. Perfect climate, never gonna be dark. Like you have a mansion. Like hello, come on. Like it's like for the reward that we're gonna get. It's like just lock in and remember that. And I'm talking to myself right now when I say that, but yeah. So at the end of the day, if you like suffering and you know feeling like you're lost in the world and don't know what you're doing with your life, just like give Jesus a try, bro. That's it. It's like, you know, pray. Be like, Lord, I don't know how to pray. I don't know how to go about this, but you know, if you're real, which he is, you know, show yourself to me and help me have desire to follow you and get to know you and spend time with you and create a relationship with you. And he's gonna do that. He's gonna help you if you're willing and you're sincere. And you're not gonna regret it. Literally. So yeah. So that's all I had to say for this video. I'll be back soon, sometime next week. But yeah, I hope you guys have a good rest of your week. Well, tomorrow is Sunday. Have a good rest of your new week. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.